Hello, everyone. What would convince me of, well, I guess, theism? So, well, the usual response, I think, is something involving amputees growing limbs back. This is clearly an inadequate response. So, what is adequate? Well, first off, we have to have some idea of what we're looking for, what's claimed to exist, so on. Say there's a being identified. Well, assuming it's something just for the sake of argument, so on. Let's say Apollo or Zeus. We would have like basically a body we could track. We have presumably fingerprints or distinguishing characteristics and so on. Physical, in the case of say like a Greco-Roman deity, and this gives us a way of latching onto it. Now, God of the philosophers, immortal, timeless, immaterial, disembodied mind that's omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent. Well, having an identity for disembodied mind, an immaterial disembodied mind, that would be somewhat awkward. We would have to have some way of, pointing at one point in time, the disembodied mind, and another point in time, the same disembodied mind, and connecting those dots, right? And I don't have a direct way of doing that. I can propose offhand, but I expect someone, claiming that, well, this thing's an identifiable being and has various properties to be able to do so. Okay, so next, well, we would have to satisfy various properties. Timelessness, in particular, has some difficulties with observability. I mean, if you merely have immortality and such, the ability to verify presence in the past and essentially be confident of future presence and so on, or existence or life or whatever you want to call it, are more difficult to establish than other kinds of things. Essentially, it couldn't really be used as a very distinguishing claim apart from a case of essentially what would be time travel. So retroactively changing the past, clearly predicting the future in ways that don't have, or ways that are not explainable in terms of, I guess, our current predictive models and so on, are ways that you would attempt to demonstrate some aspects of timelessness. And because they're, relatively vitiated, I mean, assuming you change the past, or assuming that the past gets changed by, something that could carry out acts of time travel like Doctor Who, would you be aware of it when the past changes? Or would, your revised history be what you remember and otherwise not notice? there's trouble there. So it's not clear that timelessness is adequately demonstrable in any way at all, but if there were one, probably future predictions and, if possible, to remember retroactive changes to the past would be the ones involved there. Now, clearly, we arrange omnipotence as well, and well, you end up with a little bit of trouble. In the case of a Superman-like being, or something like Zeus or Apollo, you could you observe super strength. There are limits on forces that are possible to exert in general relativity. It exceeds those. Clearly supernatural, right? Now, since it's an immaterial, disembodied mind, you wouldn't quite expect to see it doing, weightlifting, sorts of feats that would provide that kind of demonstration. So, well, what do you have? I suppose it could physically manifest in some kind of transient way. You could also have, something like telekinesis or pyrokinesis, and similar would be ways of affecting the physical world. There's some awkwardness with demonstrability here, but it would at least give you something to go on if you had even that much. So, hi, Sid.
Hey.
And my headset's off again.
I'm just going to listen to you and go off camera for a while.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened to my headset. I have no idea if anyone actually heard.
Oh, I just turned on. I hadn't heard anything, so like I say, I'm going to go off cam and mute E, and you can, and I'll catch up.
All right, sure. So we're in the case of things like telekinesis, pyrokinesis, and so on. You have trouble, of course, with attribution, right? So spontaneous motion happen. Can you connect it to this immaterial, disembodied mind, without basically a body to witness emotion? There's trouble. Another is, of course, omniscience, and that's actually one of the more optimistic cases. You could have this immaterial, disembodied mind, provided that it has some manner of communication. This is where the hang-up is. I suppose be spatially located in one location and observe things at another, although, well, there's a second problem there, which is, of course, that, it's, I didn't say it, but omnipresence is typically presumed also, right? So you can't really have knowledge of events in a location from which is absent because it's present everywhere, right? Another bit of trouble is communication, which is how do you identify communications of whatever sort being from this immaterial disembodied mind? Does it have a voice? Apparently not. I guess it could materially manifest, but yeah, it raises same old transient issues and discontinuity if it doesn't remain manifested throughout some course of events. At which point you would essentially not consider it material. Or rather, not consider it necessarily the same being. So, you have trouble on that front too. And omniscience, even though it's more optimistic than omnipotence or whatever, is also awkward. But last but not least, omnibenevolence is perhaps least demonstrable of all, an intent in human material terms of an ordinary being. It's almost impossible to demonstrate. Effectively, in reality, we regard it as inscrutable apart from effectively declarations of intent that are, I guess, considered admissions against interest or inadvertent, right? So, like in the case of the malice forethought of first degree murder. So, it's all highly problematic. And last but not least, I think what we have is deep, deep trouble of the essentially demonstrability of the proposition, right? So even if it could, I mean, I, I follow evidence, I respond to the world around me and so on, but the demonstrability of this is poor. Okay, I'm still here. And in the case, I mean, there's Occam's razor and such, essentially built it against belief in what's not demonstrable. And it's not necessarily a principle of truth, but it's a matter of what you might call a necessary truth. Given some body of evidence, if you believe anything consistent with it, then you would have to believe those things that are necessary, right? And you can add in almost anything as long as it doesn't contradict. But you have so many options that it's best to try to avoid actually adding them. Wow. Ibuprofen, acetaminophen, paracetamol for those on the other side of the pond. Will they please kick in? And they're so derailed over on the other side that it's just really hard to cope with. Especially after I'm like so hungover from all the triple threat happening in the hospital and so on. Anyway, when I had all this trouble with demonstrability, raised the question of can I be convinced? And I think it is an open question. I think the kinds of evidence I consider for this god of the phosphorus would be highly problematic to obtain or raise to a standard worthy of belief, or rather high degrees of confidence. Thank you, Arcane. So it's I would not go as far as I would not go say quote unquote God is impossible, but I might go so far as God is impossible to adequately demonstrate. But I don't know. When people say quote unquote God, they feel they have a common meaning to latch onto. They feel they have, they're actually referring to something kind of the same way that you have the trouble, connecting the dots between, say, actions or whatever of the immaterial disembodied mind, because you don't have a body to witness doing anything, and so on. For me, it is an amorphous concept. You don't have just this quote-unquote god of the phosphorus. You have, the Hindu devas. You have Shindokami. You have, perhaps the Norse and Greco-Roman, Mayan and Aztec, and many others. All of them were different in concept. For instance, how would it make sense to have a human elevated to the status of God in the Greco-Roman pantheon? Julius Caesar has claimed to be one of their gods. I don't know. My sort of ham-handed, not terribly well-informed theories. They might include something like legendary heroes and things maybe Christians now would qualify as saints and what they were calling gods or divas. Devas and the Brahmin and such are almost more natural forces. With, I guess, some kind of personality added on to them. Very different conceptions of deity. All very slippery, all... I don't feel like I'm latching onto a meaning when I even say the word God. I guess I think and I say deity instead. Kind of bolts it down to some kind of I don't know Mediterranean notion of a person of sorts with superhuman attributes. But even that is, well, foggy and questionable, and overextended. In my heart of hearts, I don't feel there's anything there to latch onto. Not even. I mean, the concepts are, individually coherent, but still very amorphous and nebulous in terms of how they vary across even individual believers in a single religion. Never mind, across the religions of the world. And I think for me, the answer was or the real acid test or whatever it was. When I cried out, I didn't cry to heaven. As for police, my parents, teachers, doctors, friends I knew were nearby, hope would intervene. I don't know. I wouldn't hold it up as some kind of cry to heaven test. Someone undergoes some terrible thing, and well, first off, they might not necessarily have undergone such a terrible thing. And when they did, they cry to heaven. I always call it a test you really believe deep down inside, or not. But no, I don't think so. I think in times of stress and such, you can have out of character action, and it's the day to day that you really see what's borne out. Something of the opposite of the prodigal son story. See, I am firmly convinced of essentially what's the opposite of vicarious redemption. It's the consistency, then, the extended pattern that defines who you are, not the isolated incident. And in that, I think, well, there are reasons to doubt that various professed beliefs are as firmly held as they claim to be, though, again, I wouldn't offer the challenge so directly that way any more than I would in the cry to heaven test. So, yeah, I've had this open to members of the other hangout for probably over an hour. And, well, Sid's the only one who made it in. It's kind of full in. Well, I know what I'm doing that's kind of keeping it from bringing in quite as many people as it would otherwise. Try to actually get believers in here. In effect, a somewhat different audience from well, essentially what was all atheists in the other one. Okay, someone commented on the event saying, okay, it says, Dwayne Attaway says, my grandfather did business with famous evangelists and faith healers, and I went with him. All are stage magicians. Or all I saw were stage magicians and businessmen without a moral compass. I'm sure they would have no problems joking about the show. I don't think that's really fair. I think well, to the extent that even to the extent that people might not have a true assessment of their own belief or whatever, I think they do profess in earnest, and I think they explaining how that interoperates with the contradictory sorts of demonstrations of, well, essentially functioning as if there wasn't a deity, whatever, is a topic that I can't entirely, even though I can't produce an explanation for it, I also shouldn't speculate too widely about. And I don't think others should either. I don't think they should entirely discount the professions of faith and so on. So when smoke clears, Tracy Light Powers also commented, saying, shit. I don't know, just what got randomly clicked on. Hell. Apparently my own profile. She says, very interesting. Anytime I've asked an atheist this question, I get something along the lines of, I want to see an amputee miraculously grow a limb back. And, yeah, that's a very specific instance of what should be addressed far more generally. And I believe I gave a more appropriately general answer in this hangout. Lift Aloft, yeah, sorry you couldn't make it, but, well, I'll gladly have you on anytime. I suppose I can just leave the camera going or whatever. And Okay. Oh dear. So you never have any degree of uncertainty. You never have. Actually, yes. Michael Martin has an article on infidels.org where he describes a transcendental argument for the non-existence of God. Right. So that's the. I mean, the precept thing is really the transcendental argument, right? So there are transcendental arguments both for and against. Uh, Yeah, that was Brett Keen's favorite thing. What is it? Look, Roy Montero has some quote about gotcha questions. Says, well, yeah, I mean, of course it's loaded. If it weren't, it'd be content free or something like that. Yeah, my field of study was not empirical science. It was mathematics, computer science, both of which are a priori. Hi, sis.
Hey, hello. Oh, is this another hangout?
Yeah, this is what I started up to try to continue on air. But
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave a big
I-
monologue going on about what it would take to convince me and so on, and got into the issues of demonstrability. 3 or 4. Um, so,
Yeah, I'm being boring and trash cans back in the house.
you say what again?
So fun. What?
I think he froze up. Where is he?
I didn't hear the question.
I didn't hear
Well,
it.
he just muted.
I'm taking in the trash can, so as you can hear, it's kind of rumbly.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm almost done anyway, so.
Yeah, I'm double fisting hangout.
Nice. I'm sure you're having a lot of fun.
Not really. It's kind of, I have a real bad headache.
Oh. Do you think it might be all that aspirin? Because I've heard high doses of aspirin can do that.
No,
No? Oh.
it's, basically a hangover from a combination of septic shock, ketoacidosis, and acute kidney failure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm betting that can cause a headache.
That's what put you in the hospital, kidney failure?
One of the 3 things, yes.
Nadia, I am such a fucking swipple. Got Trader Joe's food.
Yeah, I have to wait till the first of the month to,
Oh, there you
get food again. But,
Oh, really?
What's that? Isis, what's that? You got
So Trader Joe's, let me see, soy ginger cod fillets. I'm such a swipple. You know what
yeah.
swipple is, right?
no.
It's stuff white people like. It's a website. It's actually pretty funny. I think you'd enjoy it. You should check it out. So I think it's like stuffwhitepeopplelike.tumblr.com or something like that.
Fuck no, I hate white people.
You self-hater. You race traitor. Oh god.
Well, at the risk of, sounding a bit obscene, you know. Well, what's the right way to put it? They're all the same color when they're up my ass.
Yeah. Brown.
Well, I hope I'm cleaner than that, but
Yeah.
That was good though.
That was.
yeah, I usually get accused of like, you know, the fetishism or whatever. It's kind of like, hey, I don't control the. I'm your indiscriminate. I don't control the demographics of, you know, who ends up being interested in me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like, you know, not anywhere near 100%. You know, it's only like 50%, right?
But
So,
you ever scream, "Oh God"?
no, actually, I mean, didn't you hear me go on say, you know,
Oh, science.
the whole cry to heaven test and so on.
Oh bollocks!
Oh, Newtonian physics. Yeah. Well, I'm one of those weird people. I voluntarily have decided to stay out of relationships for the last 5 years, and it's worked really well so far. Relationships are too much time. I like
Yeah, that's
myself
why I
too
go
much.
to the club.
Yeah. Hey, with that hat, you must pick up a bunch of guys.
Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
When was the last time you were at a club?
July last year.
Exactly, and that was in New York.
Yeah.
So when you gonna make your mark on the Bay Area?
When I get a job, so I can like, well, keep the pipes clean and so on.
But if you get a job, you're not going to be able to be on the hangouts all day.
Well, at that point, I'll say hallelujah, amen.
Do you apply for jobs at gay-friendly stores and you still get rejected?
I have.
I'm sure
Doing,
you get.
Go ahead.
I'm sure you get that. We think you're overqualified line quite often.
Actually, responses are rare. Period.
Yeah.
So I don't hear that I'm overqualified. I don't hear anything at all.
Yeah, I've heard that the overqualified line is a problem with quite a few people sometimes. And no, I am not pissing. That is the sound of warm water defrosting my fishes.
Yeah, overqualification only really applies to downshifting efforts, I suppose. The more ordinary or whatever kinds of things are.
Yeah, yeah.
Clearly a different motive. I mean, it could be some where it is the case, but probably not. Probably more like underqualification in terms of academics. I only have a bachelor's, so.
Well, I don't even have a bachelor, so. Well, I have 3/4 of a bachelor. Or what I also like to call a bachelor minus GE. I went ahead and did all my very difficult courses and then left all of my retardedly simple ones to the last year, and then I never finished my last year. Actually, you know that. Did you know actually there was a study that was found recently, and this only applies to computer science, that actually the degree and the likelihood of you getting a job is actually inversely correlated?
I did not know that, but.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, so PhDs have a more PhDs in computer science usually have typically a slightly harder time getting a job than a non-degreed individual because of just kind of a preconception that people have about computer science that you should teach it yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I think the dynamics in my own case are rather distinct. But,
yeah.
Graduate study would help me.
What would you? Well, you'd study CS, obviously, but what would you specialize in?
Actually, I might do math, but or
good.
if I can, but
yeah.
Even so, operating systems, of course.
That's what I would do. I was thinking if I was gonna go back and get a bachelor's, it would be in mathematics. I couldn't go back and do it in computer science anymore because it's I don't know.
There's a great deal of computer science. I don't know. I feel is underemphasized. There's of course the.
Yeah. Well, I actually find it funny that.
Theory,
well, I actually find it
numerical analysis.
Right. Well, I actually find it really funny that computer science is not really a science. I mean, unless you're literally inventing new algorithms or new hardware architectures, it's computer engineering.
Yeah, that would likely have been more career valuable if I had gone the engineering route. But
Well, no. I mean, it's just the word computer or the phrase computer science is a misnomer because it's not a science. Most 99% of things that programmers do is engineering, not science.
the study itself
Well, sure, you would be a
is
computer.
mathematical. Is a mathematical science. So.
Right. Well, if you were, like I said, inventing new algorithms or new computer hardware architectures, then yes, I would call you a computer scientist. But nearly everybody that calls themselves a computer scientist does not do that. They're computer engineers. I'm a computer engineer. I'm not a computer scientist. I haven't invented any new algorithms. I've just implemented.
I would give people more credit. I would say that most of the quote-unquote software engineers and so on do in fact, invent new algorithms on the fly and such.
Well, I guess that's true, but I mean, usually they're just a combination of a couple of algorithms. Very few truly novel algorithms, unless you're doing like AI. Then a lot of AI stuff really is truly novel. But if you're just doing like networking stack and shuffling data around,
There is plenty of novelty in the networking stack.
I don't doubt it. I mean, but what I'm saying is that most computer programmers tend to just implement. If you're doing yet another accounting software, there aren't going to be all that many novel programs or algorithms in it.
I think software is mature enough in general that when it is truly not novel, there's a library for that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would still give people a bit more credit.
Yeah, I mean it's with any generalization there's always edge cases. Oh,
There's a bit of truth to it, but I think there's spectrum to it. Not even programmer by programmer, but even
right.
Just sort of maybe project by project and so on.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like I said, it's a generalization.
Hi, Revelation.
Hello, Revelation.
Nadia rules. Do I sound like Hillary, Nadia? Nadia rules.
Well, not that I can tell, but
I did my best,
Oh,
you remember
God.
when you were sick, right? Nadia, you remember when you were sick, right? Hillary kept saying to you, Nadia rules, Nadia's awesome.
Well, it was nice to hear.
You are, Nadia. You're great.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
All right, so the subject of the hangout is what? How to convince you, right?
Yeah, I gave like a big monologue at the beginning that went over basically like
I'm sorry.
the I guess various claims about the god of the philosophers and how to establish them and so on. And the god of the philosophers is really not that far off from, say, Christianity, and in some ways is more defensible. It's a little bit like deism or some such.
Absolutely. Listen. All of these assholes, all right? Mainstream Christian. These mainstream Christian churches that you've gotten so much hate from, You know, I saw your hangout that John was in there. I'm right on board with John. You know, you should have the same rights as any of us. Okay, totally. Trust me, if the true Christians, okay, and with the founding fathers, right? Listen, founding fathers, they did not want a theocracy, okay? They wanted freedom for everybody to have equal rights, okay? If we can't impose certain things upon this planet, that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have rights, and especially, I'm going to say this. You know, this is bullshit. It's bullshit. You should be able to have a job. If somebody says to you, "Oh, you're trans, we're not going to hire you," they should be fucking arrested. That's my opinion, Nadia.
Well, I mean, it is illegal. I mean, if anybody does actually literally say that, she can get them arrested.
Okay, there are two things to point out. Okay, first off, even in that case, it would be a civil offense. Hello, Wolf. Good to have you on. Second is, I was actually making a bit more of a nuanced argument involving stigma, and very explicitly noted on repeated occasions, you know, direct interactions with logistical or near negligible in my case. So, last but not least, you know, in the cases where, you know, bad things do happen like that, essentially no one declares their intent, which makes the law toothless. So,
yeah.
And the law, so to speak, or in fact, not even a law, regulation, effectively requires such a declaration of intent to play around.
Well, I would say any company that wouldn't hire somebody because of whatever, it shouldn't be the case. You know, you should have the ability to you know, make your living. I mean, this is horse shit. It's bullshit. And if you're saying, you know, that you feel that it's Christians that made this happen, that's, you know, good Lord, that's like, it's horse shit. It just shouldn't be, you know. But you said that you're in sort of a secular area, right, Nadia?
Yeah, I'm in the Bay Area.
Okay, so I would say, like, all right, you can't get a job. So it really doesn't so much have to do with Christianity. It has to do with just people that are assholes. You know what I mean?
Well, the connection to Christianity is the stigma.
No, I hear you on that. I totally hear you on that. And if it were up to me, that wouldn't be a fucking issue. I totally hear you. Man, why religion is bad, you know? It's not good. It's a bad fucking thing. I hope, Nadia, that you've seen enough of us. That guys like Raw, okay? Guys like, man, I haven't seen many. Christian people. Myself, I would put myself in that basket. What's her name? That was on your hangout. What's her name?
Jordan Rivers.
That's it. Thank you. People like that, you know, that just try and show love. That is the true Christianity. You know, these fucking morons that have been on, you know, the street corners that have been saying that, oh, they're disgusted by you. You know, that is not the Spirit of God. It's not, Nadia. I really want you to understand that. You know, they're wrapped up in the fucking Bible. They're too wrapped up in it. They're too wrapped up in it. They're so wrapped up in it that they're not listening to the guy that they say that they believe in. You know, it's legalism. It's bullshit. Throw that stuff out. You know, the Christians, quote unquote, the believers in Jesus that you have met here, think about that as opposed to the other horse shit that you've seen from churches. That's the best I could say to you, Nadia. You know, shit.
Oh, do you guys want to hop to Flyover's hangout? There seems to be more people congregating there.
Oh, go, if you want to go, Nadia, go ahead. Yeah.
I'll give you guys a link.
All right, cool. No, ask an atheist, I'm not. I'm not. I absolutely am not. I'm past that. I am way past it. Way past it. I'm just trying to let my light shine through. Okay. All right. I love you, Nadia. You go. And I'll catch the link and I'll listen, okay?
Okay, I'll get the event link too, so you can.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's the event link. It's in the sidebar. I'll put it up on the showcase too.
All right, I got it. Cool.
And okay, the join link. I'll get that in the sidebar. I think Sid might want to join there.
Got it. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I was talking too much about that.
No, what are you guys going to be talking about?
It's probably anti-natalist.
It's what?
Anti-natalist.
Okay, well, Nadi, you want to go in there, so kill it and go in there, and
Yeah, I'll double fist the hangout for the time being.
What'd you say?
I'll double fist the hangouts for the time being.
Oh, okay, I got you. You're in there already. I got you. Okay.
I'll hold out for like you and Sid to migrate to wherever you're going.
The bottom one?
Hi, good to see you both on. Oh, shame you left. I was just trying to. Oh.
Yeah, Nadi, it's telling me that I can only go into one hangout. It's saying you're already in a hangout. I can't go do another one. So I don't get that.
Okay, so I'm gonna shut this down and flip over there. We pretty much wrapped up discussion here.
All right, Nadia.
All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Take care. Cheers to you.